for us to try and dig further into what you're asking, but the time is yours, so you do what you wish with it. And it starts now, 10 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Clara Edwards. This is Tom Mulligan, he's our chairperson at the moment. We're the only original members left of our committee, which started all those years ago at the beginning of the millennium. We didn't know what we were going to do for the millennium. We were on a committee, didn't know what we were going to do, but we had the waka anyway over here in Napier, and we got a little bit of funding to bring the waka over to the Clive River, and we had no idea how that was going to go on the morning of the millennium, but in actual fact there was totally nothing planned for any part of this region on the very morning we thought was important. The paper rang us up and said, have you got enough paddlers for the waka? I said, I've got no idea, I haven't heard from anybody, don't know. Just going to go with it and see what we got. Well, they put inch-high letters, black letters in the big headline in the paper, more paddlers wanted for the waka. We got down there at 4 in the morning and there were hundreds of people there. So they leapt on and off they went under the bridge. We waited in the dark and waited, and as the sun came up, just the ridge of it over the top of the hills, the waka shut under the bridge. And we were so busy crying we forgot to take a photo. But however, that was the beginning. We didn't know what we were going to do. We were there till mid-morning, taking everybody for a ride. And we said, what are we going to do? We've got to keep this going. It's so well received. So Tarangi Huata was part of our committee at the time. And he said, what about Waitangi Day? So that perfect day. So from there on, we started off, and that's what we did. Every Waitangi Day, it just grew and grew as each year went on. Tarangi eventually separated from us and went to the regional, Hastings Regional Council new sports ground. It was too big for us, and our focus wasn't on sports, it was on the culture of the day. The waka was the focus on the water, it was where the treaty was signed, and we wanted to do it smaller where we focused on the children. We found that if we concentrated on giving a great day to the children, a safe, exciting day for the children, Mum and Dad would stay longer. We catered for just the ordinary people who come along with their caravans and came down for the day and spent the day with us, having rides on the waka. Well, we had queues and queues. My husband thinks 4 rides per day with the cruise ships is a huge day, but we have over 20 on that day. He doesn't go as far up the river, I can tell you, but he's just about falling over by the time he finishes. But we've got to keep on doing, because he goes up the river and back he comes, another queue is standing there. So we've got to keep doing that. However, over recent times, our funding has dwindled because Tarangi and ourselves were applying to the same funders. At the present moment, there's no more money from the Tai Whenua. We were getting 15,000 from them to begin with, plus money from Ministry of Culture and Heritage. I think that's still there, but the Tai Whenua has indicated there's no more coming from them, so we've either got to try and look somewhere else for funding, or we have to stop. And we think it's too good a day to stop. This is the only day where all the councils and everybody in all this region, from as far as you can go from Southern Hawke's Bay to Wairoa, can all be part of one day. And all the councils are involved. We have invited everybody, we've invited all the dignitaries, everybody you can think of, to come down there, and we have had a multitude of people who have come down there. I want you to consider this, because somebody said it one day and we didn't even think about it. It's the one day in your whole political career that you are all paddling in the one direction in unison. So think about that one. However, we want to keep on going. Last year, in December, my husband fell off the waka. He was only about a metre off finishing the whole thing. How he got it, fell off, I don't know, but he did. Fell off on the ground, and he's fractured his neck and his shoulder, so he was out of action. We couldn't put anything together in time for Waitangi Day this year, but we were reluctant to stop. We felt we'd lose our momentum, but however, the interest is still there. Tom and I are still standing upright. My husband's upright, even though he's injured and in pain. He's still willing to do it with help from people. We still like to keep on doing this, and we're here today to see if you'll give us some funding of any kind. You're the first person we've asked. We've asked for 5,000, but we're grateful for anything from anybody, and we're going to go out there and try and find it. We feel it's too important today to lose. So that's my presentation, and quite condensed, I might add.
Kia ora, done very well. Questions? Councillors, no questions? Councillor?
Did you say you're the only 2 members on the committee that are left?
Yes.
to organise this? So you're
No,
organising.
we've got new committee, of the original committee.
Oh, the
Tom's our
original committee. Sorry,
chairperson.
yeah, okay.
We've had 2 bereavements. Tom's lost his wife, and we've lost Lily Baker, who was a huge component, and one of our ladies have retired. We've got people to take their place. I don't know if they realise how much work they have to do, but they'll soon find out. But we do it all voluntarily. We don't pay ourselves anything, and as you see, we pay for the services. The more we get, the more we can do. I've got 4,000 down there for my husband for the waka. He's never ever got that. He said to me, "How come I always get my budget cut back?" I said, "Because you're my husband. You're the only one I can do it to." So everybody else gets paid what they ask for, but he does. So he's given me instructions that, please, can you pay me what I ask for? So I'll try. So, however, that's where we're at. We'd like to keep this day going if we can, and we're asking you to please support our day, and please come along when I write your letter and ask you to come.
Councillor Graham.
Firstly, I like to acknowledge you do a fantastic job, and you too, Tom. It's tremendous what you do. Last year we hickoyed to what was going to be the new Waitangi Park, where that celestial compass is going to be. What do we have to do to the estuary to get the waka, to get it deep? Was it deep enough to
Not
get
at
the
the
waka
present
around?
moment.
It's
We would
not.
like to support your initiative, but it has to be dredged out down there to get the waka down there. We've
Okay.
talked about going from where we are down to where you are, and back again. We can take passengers down there. Whoever would like to do it, we want to do it. The Clive River is unbelievably awful, if you don't mind me saying so, because it silts up all the time. We've been stuck at least twice on the river, once with school kids and once with tourists off the cruise ships, and it's quite embarrassing. The kids thought it was a great idea to leap off in the water, but we couldn't let the passengers, our adult passengers, hop off, so we had to take them bit by bit onto the support boat, and then it floated. We thought, oh, now it's going. But however, they thought it was all part of the fun, and they didn't mind. But however, if it was dredged down there, we really could get down there. And in fact, I would like to ask you to please consider that area is the only straight piece of waterway in the whole of Hawke's Bay where we can do what we're doing, and it really needs a lot of care down there. It needs a bit of TLC. The banks need tidying and things need, and if we could possibly ask you to support us in our endeavours to get a stairway over that stop bank. It is mighty hard to get over there. For people of our age, Tom with his disabilities at the moment, it's really hard to get over there. But however, we have managed with whatever's there. We love that where we are, and we don't want to go anywhere else. We support what you're doing, Rex, wholeheartedly, and we'd like to be part of what you're doing.
Okay, no further questions. Councillor Scott.
This year, you weren't able to do it, but are you already planning for next year?
Yes. My husband was so badly injured, I didn't know what we could do. It was only a matter of weeks from the day, and I couldn't imagine how I could get enough people to come on board and do it voluntarily and take on the load that he carries for us. So we reluctantly, I talked to Tom, and he said, if you hadn't cancelled it, I would have.
So are you taking a financial risk at the moment with no funding?
Well, we
secure?
will know by about October if we're going to get enough funding, and if we haven't got at least that amount of money that's on that budget, I would have to cut back a lot of the things that we have that are on there. Would have to be probably the attractions for the children, I imagine, but we wouldn't we couldn't put our neck in noose. We just have to cut our cloth to fit the day, but we are quite confident that we will get at least 15.
Mr. Chairman, my experience of paddling the waka on that day with different councils was unfortunately they didn't all follow the instructions and we didn't all paddle in the same direction.
You must be sitting around the
Might
opposite
have
way.
tried.
Because you went paddling against each other. No further questions. Thank you very much for your presentation and submission, and we'll be considering all of these submissions tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
hearing us today. Thank
Kia ora, and kia ora, Tom. Good to see you here. Okay, Tukemata Trust Board, Alice, Heather, and Bruno. Good morning, everyone. So you've been here before, Bruno, you know the drill, 10 minutes, and we've got a lot of people to get through, so we can stick to time. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you want some questions, please allow us some time in your 10 minutes. You'll see here where you're tracking, so it's all good.
Right.
Welcome.
Well, good morning, councillors and staff, and thanks for the opportunity to come here once again. Having had the benefit of an extended audience with you all quite recently, we're probably going to offer the shortest submission that you'll have this year, and I'm going to hand that over to Alice to do the honours, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Councillors, the thing that the Trust really wanted to most do is thank you all very much for the support that you've given the Trust. The visionary leadership that we feel you've shown is incredible, and we are extremely grateful. We also want to acknowledge the massive support that the Trust has received from Regional Council officers. Mike Eadie and Steve Cave have, over an extended period of time, been extremely generous with their guidance, their knowledge, their support, which has been invaluable. So really the point we get to now with our adopted management plan and ready to move forward this coming financial year with a really exciting program of works, we are really, really grateful for what the Trust for what the Council has done in supporting the Trust. Beyond that, we had put in a submission asking for just a one-off of 40,000 in funding to help us in doing some of the plans that we need to do. We are totally comfortable with the officer's recommendation that should be put off until 2017 and 18, because like the officers, we acknowledge we've got a lot on our work program this coming year, and that's perfectly appropriate for that to be put off for another year. We've got plenty to get done. So really that's all we had to say was a big thank you from the Trust.
Thank you. Questions following that? Anyone? Thank you very much. And very nice to see you here. Okay, thank you.